Sanake, this is the second part of my third perspective on Ascension Road 3.2. It's interesting because I showed my Ascension Direction secretary the video I made, and we had a small discussion about it. And I had some realizations because of this discussion. I believe, based on what I've seen now, that regarding the story, the past is just a story. What I see there is that it's maybe not even so important to drop the story, unless you don't see it as beneficial anymore for what you want to create in this moment. It's just freely available, basically. If we remove the emotions and the charts and the magnetics, etc., then we're free. Anyway, it's not to remove the story, I think. It's not to drop the story, I guess, or I see for now. For me, it's more about dropping the idea that that story is in the past. Because where is the past if all is happening simultaneously now? Here. So it's here. And if I don't like it, and I still have the idea to do something about it, because I feel it's bothering me, or because I love to do something about it, I can do it now. I will know, by going in the heart space, changing how you feel about it, and you change it. So that's what I wanted to add, and that's what I realized. It was a realization. It's not about dropping my story, because my story is useful. Yes, you can see it as a prison or a predefined space, as long as I believe that it's stuck and that it's me. But it's free. It can be free, and then it's available, and then it's this collection of unique experiences, perspectives that I have available at use to use in service to the whole, to demonstrate something through a story that I've experienced myself, where I found this insight, and that I can share from within the experience. So I think it can be beneficial, and even as we discussed this. And my partner added that she said, yeah, you can see the memory of the now maybe as a knitting machine to weave your reality. But as she said this, I like to expand in the space where I am. So I like to be expansion onto what I experience. And in this space from expansion, I realized that I had been discarding the Akashic records. But now I think, and Dasa Larson actually mentioned it also somewhere, why would you forget everything? I think the only thing we should do is not to discard it, but maybe just to park it, or maybe just to set it free. So we have this database that is available, that all these experiences are in there to use. The only thing we should drop, I guess, is the idea that is our story. That and I think that's the point. So I think it's not the point to drop the story. I think it's the idea to drop the idea that this is my story and that this in any way defines me in this moment, which is all moments. And then even if I like to expand and play, I could say, okay, now I send this realization to all myself experiences in all moments. And to make this practical again, I take something that I experienced in the past. There were trucks driving here on the road, and one of the trucks had lost a part, but it was a brake disc. And I heard a truck driving down the road several days with a squeak noise, and I knew it is this truck that lost this disc. And the truck driver apparently wasn't aware. Now, I had placed this disc on the road for him because it was in the bushes. I placed it on the road for him to find it. Well, actually, I placed it next to the road, and I thought, if this truck is coming by, I'm going to give it to the truck driver. And then the truck came by, and I was on the toilet, and I couldn't reach him. And I thought, oh, I hope he finds it. And then I created an intuition for him. So I sent him an image of the disc and a notification that he could find the disc next to the road and to see it. And in the moment I did, I hear the truck stop, I hear him getting out, picking up the disc and driving further. So we can use it. This example comes from my kind of memory. And I can use it to demonstrate this for the purpose of Ascension training. So I think it's not about dropping anything. Yes, releasing the charges we have and the identifications we have and what we believe about it, yes, to free this. But then it's available. It's just freely available. I don't have to drop anything to get rid of it. And the only reason I can imagine to do that is because I'm afraid I'm stuck in it. But I don't have to be. I can be free in it. I don't have to be in it. I can be around it. I can explore it. I can go through it. I can do so many things with it. This is something that I realize now, actually in this moment. And this also is something I wanted to add, and I hope the video is going to allow me in the time. I feel that here too, like you, I am in an Ascension house situation. Although my Ascension house is called the land where I live, the relationship I live, the dogs around me, the nature around me, the people in my village. One more example, when I drove my car into the village, I was aware, some people were walking next to the road, and I was aware of the exhaust of the car. And I had been changing that one time with the Flower of Life geometry in the heart of the pineal gland, right? This exercise to take the geometry of an experience, bring it in the heart of the pineal gland, and shift it. Then that exhaust of that car became very soft. It was very interesting. This time I applied another technique where I will expand on more in another video because it was so interesting, this discovery for me. But I decided the exhaust to emit sun, and the whole reality shifted. My reality experience shifted. It became very soft, but all of it. So I'm going to share more about that idea next time. But this happened to me, or I did this just driving the road in a